Hi, and welcome to another of our Getting Started videos. This one's going to be about the tutor, what we mean by your tutor and what their role is. And we're going to sort of talk about your tutor group because this is a term you're going to hear quite a lot and you're going to be doing some work with your tutor group. So it's just to help you understand what we mean by that. So if you've watched any of the other videos, you know that we've produced 6 short videos. They're all about 10 minutes long, explaining some of the key terms that you're going to come across when you study with the Open University. And we'll be sort of talking about how those relate specifically to SDK 100. So we've got other videos on things like the assessment, on tutorials. There's an introductory video. So if you haven't watched that yet, I would do because that explains sort of a bit more about how the module is going to work. So, and these are some of the key terms that you're going to come across a lot when you study with the Open University. So these are the sort of main terms to make sure that you kind of try and get your head around when you sort of first start. And these are the ones that the sort of videos have been covering. So today, this video, what we're going to be looking at is the tutor, what we mean by your tutor, and what the role is, and also your tutor group. So every student on SDK 100 will be allocated a tutor, and you might hear other terms. So tutors are also, their official title is associate lecturers, so you might hear them called associate lecturers or ALs, or tutor, so the terms are sort of used interchangeably, but it's the same thing. So, and these are employed sort of on a part-time basis to help support you throughout the entire sort of 30 to 31 weeks of the module, and they'll be there as your sort of primary support and primary sort of person to contact if you're having any problems. So it's really sort of important to kind of get to know your tutor quite early on, because if you're ever having any problems or you've got any questions, that they're your sort of go-to person. And each SDK 100 tutor will normally be allocated about 20 students. So you and these 20-ish students will form what's called the tutor group. And you will come across this term, your tutor group tutorials. So your tutor would be delivering tutorials to you and this other 20 students. There'll be tutor group forum, which again is just to that sort of group of 20 students and your tutor. You might hear, you'll also see as you work through the module material that some of the activities that you do will require you to share some of your results. So you're going to be doing some investigations. So for example, in topic 1, you're going to be using a digital microscope to count some cells, and you're going to share your results with the other students in your tutor group, and then you're going to do some sort of simple maths using the group's results as well as your own. So your tutor group, and really your tutor group, because you're going to be working quite closely together, will be students, you'll kind of become familiar with each other's names and stuff. So it's kind of a good idea to kind of go and say hello to the other students in your tutor group as well, because they're there as a support for you as well. So, as I said, the tutors on SDK 100 and on most of the OU modules are there really as your primary point of contact, and they've got various different aspects to their role. So this is a very kind of, sort of limited view of what they actually do, because all our tutors do a huge amount of work sort of behind the scenes, but they're sort of the kind of key things that you'll probably sort of come across them for are providing academic support. So if you're struggling with any of the material, you've got any sort of questions about science, that all of the tutors or associate lecturers are sort of academic members of staff in their own right, so they'll be able to provide you with that scientific expertise and knowledge that they all have. They'll provide pastoral support. So what we mean by that is if you're having any sort of problems in your personal life that are affecting your studies, sometimes they might be able to help you resolve those issues or provide you with ways of sort of studying around those issues. There are other teams that we have. So we have a student support team, a disability team, etc. So sometimes it might be that your tutor will sort of pass you on to the relevant team. But if you're ever having any problems of any sort and you're not quite sure where to go to, particularly early on when you first start studying with the Open University, I'd say the first person you should go to is your tutor, and then they will always be able to point you in the right direction if you're not sure where you need to go to for more support. As I sort of said, all our tutors are sort of very experienced scientists in their own right, so they'll be delivering tutorials. and they'll also be marking and providing feedback for you on your assignment. So, and that feedback is really their comments are really there sort of to help you learn rather than sort of being a criticism or anything. So they'll be providing lots of sort of guidance and tips and sort of bits of information for you on your assignments. And your tutors there, you can contact them via various different routes. So you can ring them, send them emails, texts, or sort of via the tutor group forum. If you haven't watched the forum video yet, that will be explained more in that video. Most students, I think, tend to email, but if you wanted to speak to your tutor, then you can normally email your tutor and sort of arrange a time when it's convenient. So, but your tutor at the start of the module will get in contact with you and explain the sort of how they found the best way to sort of communicate with their students works for them, because each tutor is different. Each tutor's got different work responsibilities. So what might be a good time to contact one tutor won't necessarily work for another. So your tutor will provide you with more information about how best to contact them. And in terms of finding out who your tutor is, so this is your student homepage. So this is the page that you first come to when you study with the Open University. And if you look in the central box in our SDK 100 box, you'll see a link to tutor and tutorial dates. So if you click on that, that will take you through to a screen that will show you who your tutor is, your email, their email address, and other contact details. Don't worry if you're watching this before the module started, don't worry if your tutor details aren't there yet. You will be allocated your tutor before the module starts. It might just be that you haven't been allocated to them yet. And as I sort of said, normally you kind of will be allocated to your tutor sort of a week or so before the module starts, but actually the tutors don't officially start working on the module until that first day of the module, so you may not hear from them until the module starts. So don't worry if you haven't heard from them sort of in that few weeks before the module starts. And as I sort of said, all SDK 100 tutors have other work responsibilities, so they don't just spend their sort of full-time work on SDK 100. So this means that quite often they aren't going to be able to respond immediately. They might be off doing some other teaching, they could be doing some research, might be in meetings and what have you. So we normally sort of say that they'll sort of respond within sort of 2 to 3 days during the week to any emails. Obviously, tutors will normally try and respond to you sort of as quickly as they can, but it just means sometimes that if you don't hear for anything for a couple of days, not to worry about it. And obviously, like any member of staff, they are entitled to leave. So if they do go on holiday, then obviously they won't be able to respond to emails during that time. But normally what will happen is that they'll sort of give you some instructions about what to do whilst they're away. As I also mentioned, your tutor group. So as well as sort of being allocated to you, your tutor will also be given another sort of 19 to 20 students roughly, and that is a sort of several form your tutor group. And you're going to meet some of these students at the tutor group tutorials. So these are tutorials which are run by your tutor just to the tutor group. So you'll kind of get to meet some of those there. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to be sharing some of your results with other students in the tutor group. And really, I'd kind of use them as a sort of support network. And you can kind of chat with them via the tutor group forum. So quite often, sort of some of the students in your tutor group might be living within the same geographical area as you, so it's just quite nice. Even if you never meet up with them, it's quite nice knowing that there's someone who's living not too far away that's going through the same thing that you are. So, and as I sort of said earlier, really, sort of make the most of your tutor. They're all really experienced. They're really experienced at helping students that are new to the Open University, don't know where to find anything, not quite sure how to get up and running. They're brilliant, and I think especially if you're new to studying, and it's been a while since you've studied, kind of it can be not quite, sort of a bit overwhelming about how to manage your time, how to get organized. So if you are finding that you're struggling a bit, your tutor can provide loads of advice and guidance to kind of get you up and running. So, please do use your tutor. They're there for that reason, to help you get you started and to provide you with support as you go through the module. They'll also, be able to help with any questions or problems you have, and even if they can't address them themselves, that they'll be able to point you to the sort of in the right direction. So thanks again for watching the video today on Tutor and Tutor groups. If you do have any questions and it's before the module started, then come on over to the Welcome Forum, post them there and we'll try to respond. If you've got any questions after the module started, then the best place to go and post those is probably in the Tutor group forum or emailing your tutor directly. Okay, thanks everyone. Goodbye.